Good day, gentlemen and ladies. My video about the oil changing of the HST transmission and also the engine oil has ended abruptly. I broke something. And right now we're the 23rd of May and I started that video yesterday, so I'm gonna edit everything until the broken part. And it's 10 o'clock at 10:20, something like that, and I need the dealer asked me to phone him back at 11 o'clock to order that part, and so it's gonna be a 2 video until I receive that part. So I'm gonna show you how to drip, and on this first video there, I use the tractor basically to go outside. For somehow I lost the first video, I don't understand. Anyway, so warm up the oil, and so let's continue that video. All right, so it's very important to follow each step, and you see why at the end. Cheers. All right, gentlemen and ladies, I just come back from my all around the block to warm up the tractor. So what I've done is I use my front bucket to lift off the front part, because I always use the bucket to lift the front tractor, because the bucket is very stable. And then I put my safety jack stand. I'm going to show you where did I put it. Now this is the front attachment of the for the bucket, and there's the last bolt who attach that part to the frame. So you have to put the jack there. So right on this, not only the frame, but you see the nut I'm pointing at. This is the nut right in front. Be aware of the shaft, of the driving shaft, driving the front differential. So I put that, and I do the same on the other side. On the other side there's nothing to worry about, but be aware of that driving shaft. The reason why I put the always jack the front part is now the front is stable, because as you witness, if the weight is only on the tractor, that pivot, and that may cause a problem when you lift the back first. So that's a tip I recommend that you to do. Also, I don't leave the bucket on free. I put a little bit pressure there, so that way it's more stable. But if you jack the front part like I'm about to do, please put it on float, so you don't jack up the whole tractor, because that remains pressure in there. So let's jack that first. And as you can see, I'm using the rear plate to jack up the tractor. Alright, so please, when you jack up, make sure that your tractor is even. You can use level, but my good high ball are pretty good for putting things at level. As you can see, everything is level, and it's the same distance on both sides, on the tractor wheel and also the front. So I'm going to put the safety stand, just hold on. Alright, so for the safety stand in the back, I hope that you see, but I don't put it directly on the transmission, because that may cause damage, even if it's a cast iron. I put it right on the drive shaft, no, the axle drive on each side. So this one is right there. All right, I'm gonna show you the other side. And same thing on this side too. So keep a little distance between the jack as they're going to go down. So I'm going to show you that. All right, so the tractor is fully jacked up safely. The reason why I'm showing you that, folks, is because for various reasons, like you need to remove the tire. So that portion of the video was covering how do I safely jack my tractor, and where did I put my safety stand. All right, because there's nothing in the book on the maintenance manual will tell you to where to put it. I've been jacking that tractor at least twice a year. So this is how you jack. So remember, just on the rear part of the felt attachment and directly on the axle, drive axle, and keep a little distance from the HST transmission. All right, so I'm going, like it's pouring rain outside, I'm gonna close the door and let's continue. That's only me and me only. What I will do is, today was Sunday, and I'm gonna empty all the liquid, basically the oil, the front differential and the rear differential HST oil transmission filter today, and I will leave it dripping all night. All right, just two tips before I start removing the wheels. When you have the make sure before opening the front hood of the engine, make sure that the felt is completely down, because if it's open, the hood, you may damage your hood in the forward there. There's a video, sadly a Mahindra dealer learned that the hard way, because he had this felt like only like 12 inches high. He opened the hood and bang, because the front plate there did the hit right there. So just as a warning. The other thing is, I put a scuff pad right here. It's a thick scuff pad, look at that. Alright, I just put it there. And the reason why is when I work hard on my tractor, the tractor have a twist. And you see these hydraulic lines? Well, sometimes they do touch the hood. And that create scars on my paint. And yeah. So putting this scuff pad will prevent that, and also just, it doesn't need to be thick, just a little scuff pad, and that way you're in business. So I'm going to remove the tower now. Cheers.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way.
All right, so as you can see, and I say it again, yes, I have wood spacers. They made out of steel. It's quite heavy. I had made it locally by a local machinist, and I give him basically I bring the tower, and from that I ask, can you make me 4 inches larger? So they're about 4 inches. And what I've done also is the screws hold it in place. I lock it with 2 bolts in the back. So that way, there's no way in the world, then that tractor won't, the wood spacer will become loose, alright? So let's go the other side.
Hey, and up she rises early in the morning, putting it along, put it till he's sober, putting it along, put it till he's sober, putting it along, put it till he's sober.
Alright, since the tower is removed, I'm going to talk briefly about the bolt. So this is all the bolts, the nuts that you need to torque up. As per the manual recommend. If you are a backhoe, they do show you, tell you to every 24 hours, 20 hours or 24, I don't recall, but that is totally wrong. Every 8 hours you need to retorque, and I have many videos to prove it. Like at one point, is my good friend Joe who find out, hey Dave, you should look at the bolt, and yes, it was basically all loose. So I tied up everything, and there's 2 on the top also, right under. This is the suspension seat, and there's 2 bolts right where I'm pointed at, and this is very important because it's the top portion. All these bolts here also, and all the bolts holding the felt, right? And not to forget also, I'm just gonna close the hood for now. Let's go easy. These 4 bolts, the forward belt bolt, because just remember that the tractor does twist a little, and these bolts does come loose. So make sure you tighten all the bolts and nuts. And yes, one of these days I'm going to use Loctite, red Loctite. And of course, knowing me, I'm going to clean rag every crevice that I found around the levers and everything around there, so it's going to be nice and clean. All right, cheers. So let's start with page 5-5, and it tell about the oil change. And they said the first thing, unscrew the drain plugs on the drain contaminated engine oil. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you where that drain plug is. All right. So we're at page 5-5. All right. So to remove the screw, the bolt right there, you will need a 10 millimeter socket. Now this is the, obviously that's the engine right there. That's toward that way. It's towards forward of the engine. All right, and that light there is warm. So let's put it, let's see, on the side like this. All right. So I'm going to put the, I'll get my oil pan down there. And whoops, I forget my persuader, because I believe that, just hold on. Whoop. Yoo-hoo. Thank God it's empty of oil. The neat thing about all these lights, the bolts, they're all painted yellow, great color by the way. I don't know why. So it's gonna be dropping. I'm gonna put the bolt right on the side here. Okay. So you can see a good flow of black oil. There's two filling oil cap. One is here and the other one is on the other side. I'm going to show it to you. But once you finish to, you should do a crack, open it a little and keep it there, because if I'm putting all night, I don't want anything falling in there. So just a little crack, so that will help the oil to empty. Create like a vent. So let's go on the other side, and you can see easily here the other filling port. I never use that one. All right. So the oil filter is right here. So I'm gonna, since the oil pan is right under it, I'm gonna disconnect it. So after the very nice gift from Luc for the oil cap remover for my tractor, I decided to do a big spending. So I bought myself from Motomaster a universal oil filter. There's various size, and this one is crooked, so it's easier to disconnect from the oil filter like this. So I'm going to use that to remove that oil filter for the first time. Holy smoke, easy, like no problem whatsoever. All right, so it's a pass. So I'm gonna keep right there. Look at that. All right, so the other side for what's the technical order book manual are telling us. All right, page 5-5. And so that we accomplished that. We remove after draining. Well, we're gonna let it drain all night. It does show us where the oil filter is, but they don't say how to remove it. Well, it's pretty simple. So basically, you open it. So let's turn the page at 5-6. And there's a note there: do not add engine oil over the upper limit. Of course, check the engine oil before starting the engine, or at least 5 minutes after the engine is stopped. When you're putting new oil, you have to make sure so you have to make sure you drain obviously everything. Now what they recommend is API CDF CF grade 10W30. All right, and on that, for me, depend of the season, I use various type of grade. All right, Now, caution, if the engine get on your skin, of course you clean, make sure to cool down the engine specifically before draining. Of course you don't want to burn yourself. Now, about the checking the transmission fluid. Alright, we're gonna go in the back there. So, alright, so what I'm going to do is right after the oil, the talking to how to drain the oil in the back, and then on the very next page on 5-8, they're talking about the front axle oil, and if you look like inspection, changing, and you need to unscrew. So what I will do, since I'm doing the engine, I'm gonna skip at page 5-8, and we're going to do the changing the front axle. Basically, you remove the you lose the front cap, you lose on both sides, and then you there's screws on the top, and I'm gonna show that to you. All right, so the vent hole is, you have one there where I'm shining the light, so that's one vent hole, and there one on each side. The other side of course is the filler cap. On this side, that's gonna be tough to see, but that's where I'm pointing at. You see the light right there? Okay, I'm gonna open that one, so let's do that right now. All right, the size of the socket is 12 millimeters, so I'm gonna open the top one first. And I'm just gonna put a clean rag right above. So it's gonna be a red rag, so I'll see it. The reason why I'm putting a rag is I don't want any dirt going over, falling in that hole, since the tire are dirty. I should have cleaned the tire before, but hey. And now I'm gonna do the bottom one here. Whoops! I need perhaps removing the nuts. All right. There we go. Very nice brown color. All right, for the top, I'm just gonna loose it a little, like so, and now for the bottom, just gonna do the same thing. There we go. And that thing is dropping. So it's been 10 minutes now, and I already fill up a jug from the right side of the front differential. Now, as you can see, I don't know if you can see, better there. So on both sides I have drip trays catching the little stream of oil, and it's going to do that all night. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's hard to see, but it's right there. You see the oil dripping in there towards my pan, and there's the other one on the other side. Okay, so yes, so if the differential is tilting on one side, I didn't notice, but obviously the oil is gonna drip more on this side, and then the rest will be from the on each side. The oil is going from left to right, by the way, from the through the drive shaft and the axle. All right, so now we're gonna attack the rear. So I went outside on the pouring rain and get the big oil pan, And right now, let's go back to page 5-7. And now this is the right side of the tractor. The drain plug is there. The HST filter is right there. So before opening that plug, I'm gonna clean all around there. All right. Like you see, all filter is there. The drain plug is there. And so I'm gonna clean all of that area before. All right, so warning, pay attention, because the first time I changed the oil on the transmission, I unscrewed the wrong screw. Basically, I used, because it was yellow painted, that screw, and that screw is basically draining under the oil filter, which is good, but the main one is this one here I'm pointing at. Now this one here, the big one, used 22 millimeter, and the bottom one use 19 millimeter. Now 19 millimeter is the same as a 3/4, by the way. So I'm gonna unscrew that one. I'm gonna put the light on the side. Let's put it like this for now. Woo. That one is okay. I did torque it a little bit. Okay, hold on. I've used the persuader. There we go. And voila. That is very clean oil. I'm very happy about that. Now I'm gonna remove the lights. Look at that clean oil, like holy smoke. And I'm going to do the top now. Alright, I'm on the right side. There we go. So I'm gonna remove the filter there. Right. Holy smoke, this one is whew. All right, just hold on. There's a lot of stuff in my way. Let's put the camera in better angle. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Let's use the blue one. It's pretty stuck there. Holy smoke. Okay. That's very well sticked. I'm happy to have that pair of pliers. Okay, let's try another way then. Hopefully. Alright. We got a lift off. Whew. Am I happy to have that? Whew. So you can see the oil dripping from the oil filter, from the drain plug of the oil filter, and also the thing. Now let's go on the other side to see the strainer. Alright, as you can see, the capacity of the transmission hydraulic system is 3.6 US gallon or 13.5 liters. The front axle is 2.6 quarts, not gallon, quarts. So it's 2.5 liters. So it's total of 15, well, 16 liter total. And I would like to thank my Mahindra dealer lady at the working at the parts, because she gave me a good price. It's I think it's $6.5 a liter, and she gives me a good price of $5.2 dollars. So they give me they cut me $1 from each liter. So thank you very kindly. All right, so let's go see the strainer. All right, I just forgot. On the page 5-9, transmission strainer cleaner. When changing your transmission fluid, clean with diesel fuel. In my case, I'm going to use just normal fuel. Gas. Unscrew the filter body. So that's the part there. That's the left part, and I'm going to see that. And unscrew the body support bolt from the right lower section of the retransmission case, and gently pull the filter with pliers to remove it. So yeah, this is the pliers, and it shows to do that, and I'm going to show you that. All right, and then the talking about replacing the engine oil filter, we're skipping that part. I'm going to do that tomorrow. All right, so let's go. The last part today is transmission strainer cleaner, how to remove it safely. All right, so we are on the left side of the tractor, and this is the strainer located. So that's the tube coming from the top, and the strainer is right in there. So we need a 22 millimeter socket. Wrench, sorry, I'm gonna have it one of these days. And let's do that. There we go. Boy, this thing. Did I mention it's very nice? It's very important to clean the area around. All right. So we're gonna put the wrench. Right. So. Right, be aware of the O-ring. I hope that you saw it on the camera there. There's a O-ring here. And this is the strainer. So this is the part that we need to clean. The O-ring is right there, and that part is also coming loose. So so let's go put that in the fuel. Alright, so this is the O-ring of the strainer. So I cleaned it very well. There's no sign of wear, and it's quite it's rubberized. It's like it's not dry at all. So it's in perfect shape. There's no nick or cut. Everything is clean. So I'm gonna leave it there dry, right on that yellow rag. Now for the strainer. So this is the strainer there. Yes, there's some debris in the bottom there, and so I'm gonna go just a normal. Just go. By the way, this is a very old Super Fuel liquid gold from last fall. So I'm going to clean it very well. There's no depot like. I'm very happy basically because strainer is like it's a filter but for a larger particle of metal, and I mean that's some, but that's very light. I mean I don't remember how many hours that I have. I will let you know after. But and I don't want to leave it in the fuel all night, because but trust me, I can see really nice through it. I don't know if you can see, but it's gonna be tough, but there's absolutely nothing. One thing I'm going to do is just blow some air, compress air, not too close, but it's a steel mesh. So just hold on, I'll be back. Alright, now, so the fuel strainer, the hydraulic strainer is very in good condition. Everything is clean, so I'm gonna leave it with the O-ring for all night on my bench here. And let's do a close recap of the day. Now, about the pliers, I don't know what they're talking about seriously, because the filter is attached directly on the screw. So as you remove the screw, you remove all the filter. So it must have been like another transmission they were talking about, because it's definitely the right at 5-9, the page is definitely that part that I have to pull, transmission strainer, and yeah, so that image doesn't apply. All right, so I'm gonna keep it like this. Now, just a quick safety note: when you leave your tractor with all that oil, make sure there's no electrical connection or heat source. The only thing running during the night, the night will be my dehumidifier, because right now it was because I came from the outside, it was pouring rain. It was almost 72% of humidity. Right now it's down to 46%. I will let it rain it all night, so it's gonna be 40, nice, cool, crisp tomorrow morning. So yes, just a safety aspect. Make sure there's no heat source, because we have hydraulic oil dripping. It's non-flammable, but better be on the safe side, and make sure that everything is safe. I put my tools, I don't know if you can see it, on a nice clean rag. All my tools are clean. All my important screws are all in the clean rags. Same thing for my bolts and nuts from my rear tires, and on the other side too. So, and cover your important hole where you don't want to have any dust on the top of it. And yes, so tomorrow morning everything's gonna be good. Now I already transferred some fluid, because I was afraid that it will overflow, because my drain is right there, but everything is so far so good. So what I've done is what we've done today in and using the maintenance manual. So basically we start at page 5-4, 5-5, and about the checking and changing the oil from the engine, so showing everything. And so we went from there 5-6, 5-7 to drain the plug, and then the front axle, then the HST filter. And that filter was not a piece of cake to remove. It was definitely not a walk in the park. And these very good pliers, Motomaster plier that I bought in Case and Terror, saved my day, because you can see the filter. I'm just going to show you the filter, just hold that. Look at the shape of the filter, like, I mean, the rubber, it must have been very dry. So I'm going to put a very nice oil on the top of it, so next time I'm going to change it 2 years from now. It would be easier to remove. Alright, so yes, and then we proceed with the removal of the strainer at 5-9, and we finish at 5-7. So tomorrow what I will do is replenish everything. We start from the front. We start with the engine first, and then I start by the bolt axle. Alright, so like I say, I work with you with the book. The book is very well explained. Some image, like the figure at the 5-7, this definitely not apply. They don't say how to remove the filter, but hey, they just say to remove it. That's it. It was the filter. It's only on that page here at 5-22. Then they said the transmission and HST oil filter, and the same also the end oil and cartridge to remove the from the engine. All right, so on that, see you tomorrow. Cheers. Completely forgot to talk to you about the vent cap for the front axle of on my tractor. Basically how it works, and I hope that you do show up. So this is the inside, basically having access pressure from the axle, and on the inside there's a hole which go all the way to the top. And you see those little, like, you think it's a finger or not, they are, but basically it's a venting hole. So it's taking pressure from the inside, going down, going on the top, and then leaving at the outside of the flat rubber ring. However, that ring, it's arriving flat of the outside of that cap, and basically, since the axle is very thick all around, and I'm going to show you that tomorrow when I flip, so it's sealed again. So what I come up from an idea, and tomorrow I will do that, is to just simply put an O-ring between the flat and the first screw, so that will create a little gap, and so that way you'll be able to not squeeze it tight, but tighter, and it will be able to vent all around. They are very, very small holes. I don't know if you can see it. It's all from this, so it's basically coming from the middle and leaving on each side to vent on each. And these are very small holes, like yeah. So I'm wondering what during the winter time, like the oil thick and stuff like that. So I keep you updated, but definitely when I keep the cap a little bit, like just 1/4 turn, that definitely make the gap enough, and it's venting through the threads, and it doesn't seem to have any damage, like no whatsoever. And my front axle stopped to leak right away, like automatically the same day that I screwed that, and never leaked since then. So that's a quick fixer, and I haven't talked to the dealer about it, and he talked to his clients. He didn't have come back yet because I just talked to him about that. All right, so that was my maybe try that on your tractor, and that will explain why you have a front seal leaking. The idea is very good. I find the hole a little bit too small to my taste. Of course, there's 4 holes and the pressure will be sufficient enough, but maybe drill a hole bigger. I don't know. For me, probably make a O-ring. I would be afraid to crack it. Like, I don't know. Just food for thought for you guys. All right. Cheers. Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. Today we're the 23rd of May. It's Victoria Day here in Canada. And I'm running behind schedule. I was supposed to work at the tractor starting at 7:30, but it's 8:30. I had a rough night. Couple of nice ladies visiting me during my dream last night. It was tough going. All right, so Scotty was sleeping. And Ruby's right there at the corner of the kitchen. So let's hit in the garage. And as you can see in the back, it's a very nice, fresh, crispy morning. I'm gonna have it one of these days. All right, gentlemen. This is the 4 bolts who are screwed for the front axle drive. And there's 2 for the vent and 2 for the drain plugs. They're all the same. The 4 of them are the same diameter. I believe it's 10 millimeter. All right, now one thing you have to pay attention is these screws have Teflon tape, and so you need to clean the bolt very well. And not the bolt, the nuts. No, the bolt. I'm going nuts talking about that. All right. Now, you need to clean it. So this one is a black Teflon tape. And these were the one. Bye-bye. All right. Beep. All right. So we need to, I need to change that Teflon tape. So before putting back, clean the bolt. And then put Teflon tape, no more than 3 turns, like the usual amount, so 3 times, and then you screw it back. All right, this was official tips from my dealership, Adrien Faneuf and Shepherd, who was selling Mahindra case tractor. All right, bonjour, Madame Petit, bye bye. All right, as you can see, I put the Teflon tape. It's tough going because it's very small. One thing I like to mention to you is for those courageous among us who has front chain, front winter chain, wheel chain. Well, this nut I definitely make contact with it. I don't recall if it was the one at the top or one at the bottom, but it would make sense if it was the top because that's the closest from the chain. So pay attention when you put your chain during the winter. The chain may move, like it, despite of you all know that I put my chain very tight against the tower. But yeah, that little it did make contact with it. All right, so I'm going to put these bolts right on the differential, so stick around. It's common sense, you don't over torque these little bolts. It's only the one in the bottom would make sense to just make sure it's well tight. And just want to make sure then. Yeah, it is well screwed. All right. So 12 on either side. Now for the cap, like I told you yesterday. Later on, I forget my O-rings, but don't forget to put the O-ring and inform me how the thing is doing. All right. So I ain't gonna fill up yet. I just put it back, everything, all the filters and everything. All right. So since I'm here, I'm going to install the oil filter. There's a few of you good folks that were asking me about what type of oil filter I use. Well, the first two oil filter was from Mahindra, directly from the Mahindra dealer, but then the Mahindra dealer started to bring some other type of filters. The first one was that one coming from Fleet Guard, and I don't know if you see the number here. I hope you can able to see it. All right, so it's the LF3692JX. All right, it's made by Fleet Guard, and it's a good idea to keep all the boxes empty, so that way you can do some research on the internet. And this one is the one I recommend the most because it's made from Yanmar for a Yanmar engine. So this is the part number here. It's very long to see. I hope you see it very well. All right, so that's the one I'm going to install on the engine. Just hold that. You know, when you have a good quality oil filter is when they put a plastic wrap at the beginning of the filter so it doesn't get exposed. So this is a genuine part, Mahindra, it's a Yanmar, and for my Yanmar engine, which are for me the best diesel engine on the surface of the earth. All right, so that's the one. I remove the plastic wrap. I'm very impressed. They even oil the O-ring is pre-oiled. Yeah, I ain't gonna touch that. I was thinking to put some synthetic oil on the top, but you know what? I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil on the. It's probably a preservative, silicone base oil to make sure that the O-ring doesn't dry. All right, so let's put that right into the engine. All right, so the oil filter is installed. Now let's install the plug underneath. All right, stick around. Now this is the drain plug, oil pan, drill pan. I'm speaking Chinese or Vietnamese. This is the bolt for the oil pan from the engine. All right, there's a washer onto it, and it's doing very well. So you don't need to change it. I have no problem with it. So let's install that. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't bring along. I have many videos of you can see me installing, screwing all that bolt. All right, so now I'm gonna set up to show you how to install the strainer. All right, please do not forget to install the O-ring. All right, before. So I'm just sliding your inside like this. All right. And wiggle it like this around. So put the pipe against the transmission and then start to unscrew. But for some reason it's not doing as planned. So make sure you fully seated the tube here, the side tube, into the transmission. Then, there we go. So this is the trick, all right? So this, push the tube here coming from the top, push it against, warning, push it against the transmission case. So the tube is stabilized. And then put it in, don't forget to put the O-ring. Now, just hand screw if you're able to hand screw, that means you're doing right. And of course at the end you need a 22mm wrench. Alright, now just snug, remember, alright. Guys, you just see a catastrophe as I broke the my god, the strainer. Alright, so you need to be careful. I was not over torquing, but apparently too much. That was my fault. So that will be the end of this video. I need to find a way to remove that safely, and I ordered the part. Gonna take a couple of months, I think. I keep you updated on that. It's a very sad story, but life happened, and yeah, could have been worse, but yeah, that was the last thing. I ain't gonna put the transmission oil filter on the other side. This is a warning. Yeah, guys, be very careful on that. I'm kind of emotional right now, but yes, I will. That mistake happened, and I will fix it later. All right, so please take care of yourself. I hope that will serve a lesson to all of you guys. So be careful when you put that type. I should be more conscious about that, especially it's very touching my my pride. But hey, that stuff happened. So let's do that. So I'm gonna order the part. All right, cheers. Yeah, I just realized me as well to do a video how I'm gonna remove the strainer. So I'm gonna use a long nose vice grips or short one, and see how it goes. So basically you just put aside the tube, and I'm gonna put it like this and go remove it. Try that. All right. Have the light in good place. It's basically, the strainer itself is loose, so it's not that bad. Oh. There's a O-ring also in the back here, so you may as well to take care of it. So yeah, it's stuck there pretty bad. All right, so the back O-ring here, it's coming on the back here. I'm gonna put there for now, so it's not gonna go somewhere. All right, so this is the broken part. See what I can do. All right, cheers. All right, so that's the reason it's very fragile. It's because it's looks like it's made of even magnesium. Yeah, No, I ain't gonna glue it with whatever glue you still glue. And since it's made of magnesium, it's no sense to weld it. It's probably a common part. So I'm gonna do some info, look for a part book and do some internet research about that. And I hope that will serve you very well. So that will be, I'm not gonna put any more oil, stuff like that. I'm just gonna stall right there. And maybe it would be a good video because I think it's starting to get a very long video instruction. So please be careful about the strainer there. And yeah, so when you tied it, yeah, exactly, push the two, make sure you torque it, but like very, very sensitive, like a 20-inch pound. All right, cheers.